Project Cars 2 is here, and long story short, I'm having a blast. I'm still working on that written review for PC2, but for now, something pretty interesting crossed my mind when playing. Project Cars 2 is a hard game, a really hard game, an unforgiving game, but it's also a game that rewards you with the time that you take to master it. See, the wonderful thing about racing games is this insane level of mastery they offer to players. From the surface level things, like track knowledge or car-specific quirks, to more nuanced decisions, such as late braking, racing lines, pressure, fuel tire management, and much more. And everything you do pushes you further towards that sense of mastery. You get comfortable with the cars, you figure out the little quirks of the track, you break from the standard racing line to find even faster routes that adapt to your car, the best late braking points, how weather changes the dynamics and the decisions you make during the race. I could go on and on, because Project Cars 2 does a lot of what makes a good racing game, and that's making mastery clear and deep. Other games do this too, but that depth is why I love racing games so much. I praise Project Cars 2's secondary depth because I want to dive deeper into that realm of mastery. I've been playing racing games my entire life. Outrun, Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, Midnight Club, Trackmania, Forza, the list goes on and on. And if there is one thing I'm innately tuned into when it comes to racing games, from arcade to full simulation, it's the physics and handling models. From the way the car reacts to my inputs via pad or wheel, to the way you wrestle control of the car on the tarmac, gravel, or snow. In the vertical slice of a racing game, it's you, on the track, against the clock. The fun of repeating the action over and over comes down to how the game translates the inputs of the joypad or wheel to the physics and control of the car that you're driving. And this is where mastery comes into play. So, every good racing game does two things well, and that's being predictable and consistent. Most car nuts know that when a car turns under power, there's an expected behavior that is consistent across vehicles of that same drivetrain. A front-wheel drive car will understeer, a rear-wheel drive car oversteers, and an all-wheel drive car will grip, usually. This is where racing games' predictable nature comes into play, from real-world information, which these games are inspired by. A player can quickly determine the expected outcome when a car turns a corner. It forms the decisions in which the player enters, brakes, turns, and exits the corner. Next is consistency, arguably more important than predictability. All handling models in racing games start off with a base set of rules. Think of it as a Skinner box for a blank slate vehicle. With this, cars are then modified to give it a more set of intricate qualities that differ from other cars. An easy metaphor is Mario Kart. Each kart body starts off with a standard set of statistics. Modify the tires and the glider allows for changes in its handling, speed, and air control, making each build feel different. Another example, all-wheel drive cars. An Audi R8 V10 Plus and a Nissan GT-R Spec V are both all-wheel drive cars, sending power to all four wheels. However, due to the layout, front engine versus mid-engine, dimensions, weight, power bias, and power delivery, they behave quite differently. But the base is important. It establishes the baseline response a player can initially expect from the game. The consistency comes from learning the quirks of the car represented in the game and using those quirks to its advantage. In Drive Club, for example, the Nissan GT-R is a grip monster. It requires solid entry and minimum oversteer to get the best out of it. Slow in, fast out. The Audi R8 is lighter and more nimble due to its mid-engine balance. It may have all-wheel drive, but you can give it a little bit of mid-corner oversteer for a faster rotation into the corner, allowing it to have a higher entry speed, giving it more of a late braking opportunity for overtakes. The GT-R, with its superior mid-corner grip, pulls out with a faster corner exit speed. But wait, you say. Drive Club and Project Cars are more grounded in realism. What about racing games that are arcade-like from the get-go? Trackmania 2 is a great example. The Trackmania series are an arcade racers at heart. Not as ridiculous as Mario Kart, but their real-world interpretations are very loose. Take the Canyon car, for example. It has a handling model that exaggerates the qualities of a drift car, forcing the user not to rely on any preconceived notions about how this car would handle. Instead, drivers will rely on the consistent relationship of the car's responsive handling across various surfaces. There is a clear behavior near the limit of grip, and it has large amounts of forgiveness when controlling the slide, and it's easy to transition between the two styles of driving. This smashes open the amount of exploitation the car has when chasing lap times and world records. The consistency of the car is so well defined, it continued the tradition of the infamous press forward tracks, a track where you only need one key, press forward, and the rest takes care of itself. You want another? The Wipeout series. The vehicle's skinner is easy to grasp just by getting acquainted with the first ship you come across, the accessible Physar group ships. You learn about air braking, strafing, barrel rolling, double braking, among other techniques. You exploit these defined mechanics to brake late, swing the ship into an aggressive angle, slam the throttle while using the inside air brake to maintain velocity and trajectory of the ship to speed past. The racing opens up when you're exposed to other types of manufacturers and ship times, from the agile Oricom to the ludicrous Piranha series. This combination of predictability and consistency grants depth, and with depth comes mastery. That combination of skill, knowledge, and practice translates into faster and faster lap times. Try racing a Ghost during a time trial. Even if you understand the intricacies of a track, as well as the limits and quirks of the car, things can still surprise you. How the hell did he take that corner so fast? I was flat-footed the entire time, no slip. What am I missing? Are you kidding? How can you pull off a braking overtake like that and still leave the corner with the same exit speed? Where is that grip coming from? How did he get the car to hook up like that? We're running the exact same setup. I love racing games. I'll play all the major ones. I'll always be chasing the leaderboard, trying to climb, to get better, to get faster. It's like Darius said.
There's always someone out there who's a little faster than you are. And sooner or later, they're gonna catch up.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Domus Project. You can find me on Twitter at Tenji240 or the Domus Project. You can find me on Medium, where I write reviews at medium.com/the Domus Project. Or you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Domus877. There'll be more content coming down in the future, so stay tuned to the channel. Bye.
Fascinating. Hope you don't stop.